pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tom was an ex-fire chief in the Valley Street Fire Department, but also the Village of Valley Street Fire Inspector for over 30 years. Roll call. Trustee Tupperelli.
Yeah.
Trustee Thomas. Here. Trustee Grasso. Here. Trustee Wright. Here. Mayor Quayle. Here. For discussion, resolution to accept minutes from the June 27th Board of Trustees. Additions or subtractions, gentlemen? Okay, put it on. Resolution 23, we have resolution for budget transfer and resolution for tax service.
Francis Michael, you will have one budget amendment, to recognize the gifts and donations, usually sponsorship donations, of one considered the summer conference series that we received over and above the budgeted 5,000. You find that the last year, check that we will be paid, we'll have a budget amendment for that.
But it's revenue?
Yep. Yeah, increase
And tax service.
it increases the corresponding. Yeah, two setback certs, relatively small ones considering what we usually look at. The first one is for 234 Central Avenue, which is an auto body shop in Lot. That has a slight reduction in the AV. The second one is the Promenade, which was for the years before the Promenade was constructed, which is why there was 7 homes in 1718, why there's no reduction in set value. Obviously,
All right, number four. Number four, resolution for traffic committee recommendations. You'll see number 4 is the public hearing. I got the wrong agenda. Number 4, the proposed local law B, public hearing. That's been pulled. That's been pulled. Yeah. Sorry. You all have that? No, I'm looking at the right. I brought my. No, there you go. I got it. I'm just following up. Okay. All right, so go ahead. Resolution for traffic committee recommendations to the members attached, one at Harvard Street. Residents requesting a no parking sign from 8 to 5 p.m. on both sides of the street going up on Harvard Street, going up to Danzig. Because of people parking from the businesses on Merritt. We're also looking at one on South Drive, and that is to low time.
What is the track? This is what the traffic committee recommends.
Yes.
What about fencing? Fencing's going to come in next.
Of course, just like Fletcher.
What's its way down? One step at a time, I guess.
Any other questions or comments on that?
Number 5. All right, see email from a resident requesting permission to harbor 2 to 3 chickens. In the backyard.
I'm all in favor of that.
Comments, questions, it's against the code, right?
It's actually, if you look in your packet, there is something, there's provision in the code. The board of trustees, you have to get permission from. You got to vote on that. You get a form and pay.
Just curious, is it somebody looking to produce their own eggs, or is this somebody who has not
This is actually, this person thought this would be good for there's actually, if you look in the backup, there is an email from them. I believe that they want this with their children.
Yeah, a lot of times we've got 50 children.
So she hasn't mentioned that in here, and they do like the idea of fresh eggs.
I would just say respond to the letter to tell her to come down to the public for the meeting. Okay. So you guys can break the fight for the things.
Now this is, keep in mind that this, where this is located at, this is, I think it's on Hamilton. It's on Hamilton Avenue.
Yeah, it did. I know, Vincent, we always sadly joke about it. Wasn't the prevailing discussion was, you know, there were noisy and dirty and stuff like that?
Well, I
But
was.
we never approved one.
We have that, right. So the way that whole saga went down was, I had proposed to make it easier for people to do what they want with their own private property. Generally oppose that. And the idea was that to actually set down the provisions to make it permissible rather than very broad and just make it a yes or no proposition in the village code, which is what it is now. It just didn't go anywhere. Because communists.
In all seriousness, gentlemen, what do you want to do? All of a sudden, everybody's quiet.
No, I think that we should look, I think that I like, we just look at the house where it is, if the neighbors on top, hey,
You gotta look
yeah,
at
not
that.
now, I'm not gonna.
Sean, the mom's saying.
I'm not in
I just remember the one person that had the chicken and he actually summons and Nick took care of was the neighbors went crazy from the noise. Went absolutely, the neighbors were just like crazy. I think it was 2 chickens they had, and they went nuts.
She indicates her neighbors are okay with it on either side.
I just hope that we don't have to invoke the letting people do what they want with their own property.
Curb enthusiasm, no, that's a TV show.
I just know that's
Curbing liberty, that's it, that's the one.
often invoked principle when we're saying what private business owners should be able to do with the property that they own. But you know, we're moving towards a more socialist society, so collective decision making private property.
All right, so we're not putting it on, we're waiting until other trustees can do the job.
Fact finding.
So fact finding for John, I said no, Damon said no, Vincent said yes, John and Sean gotta go with it. Number 6. What, I don't do that?
You didn't answer,
What? Well, they said in a letter.
She asked both of her neighbors and they were looking forward to the fresh eggs.
You believe that? Well, do
Yeah.
we believe the neighbors don't care? Until it's. It's 2 in the morning.
But when people come in and say, oh, my dad can put the problem, my neighbor has no problem. Well, when the neighbor sells the house, the next person has a problem.
So what was your answer then, Sean?
Then I'll say no. Spirited resistance.
Number 6.
Proposal by Stryker for Valley Stream Fire Department equipment.
Okay, this proposal was in the packet. This is for equipment for the rescue ambulance, a life pack monitor and defibrillator, as well as a stretcher with the power load and all that other stuff. We had 2 options, a pre-annual payment, 2 annual payments. The fire department is building this into their operating budget. They get it. I did.
Oh.
We asked Bill Galoff for that life pack, just to let you know,
When?
4 months ago.
They told me that.
I sent the letter out to them. If they don't, nothing goes fast over there, that doesn't mean it's definitely gonna happen. But it's like $53,000 or something.
Well, no, the life pack 15 is 35 grand, and then
They asked me to do that.
batteries and other stuff.
It was 50 and they asked me for 2 fans also. They didn't ask me. They said, if you can, is there any grant money out there for this stuff? I said, well, we can ask our legislators. They always have enough for the fire department. I'll send them. I did. That was some time ago.
Michael, do you want to follow up with the chiefs?
And Pat's the one who gave it.
Yes, I know I will. Pat never mentioned that he was asking you.
So let's put 6, let's have Michael follow up with the chiefs.
I'll give you the stuff that I sent to them.
Along with,
Also,
Part was with them.
we deem that we're paying for, I mean, it's not just the life pack that we're doing in the package, because we take for over 4 years. We might be able to get reimbursed. A lot of those grants, we have to send it for reimbursement to the one anyway. So I would like,
Well,
I
you
would like to
can-
know if we have approval before we spend money.
Yes, you can. That is right. You cannot spend the money until you get the approval. That's why.
How would they look at it if we got the approval after payment 1, and then payment 2, 3, and 4? That's what we did last year. All right, yeah,
The actual purchase was paid before. You just have a payment plan.
All right,
So whatever you want to do, I can pull it because they asked for other things, but they asked for bumper gear, fans.
It's gonna have to be modified, so Michael, meet with the chiefs. Yep. Find out if we're going ahead with it, modifying it, changing it, pulling some things, eggs,
Remember,
granting some things.
anything for the county is going to be time, at least a year. So if it's something they need now.
All right, so the treasurer will follow up with number 6. Number 7.
All right, we are, actually to discuss the refurbishment of the tennis courts for pickleball.
The mayor had asked Economic Community Development Team back in 2019 to look into possible grant money for the tennis courts. And at that time, it was strictly just do the tennis courts over. We reached out to USTA, got in touch with some folks over there, filled out an application for grant money. The total amount, but for a decent amount. Met with them at the site, everything was moving forward, and then, as you know, the pandemic. So, beginning of 2020, we called USTA and said, you know, hey, we're still ready to go. They're like, well, we don't have the money anymore. We're holding on to our money. We're not going to be able to give out any grants. They said, try us back again. So our tennis courts that were originally installed in 1973 and we overhauled in 2000 were still just sitting there. So the mayor decided to have village force, workforce, put a little band-aid on it, 2 of the courts, and they got that all the time.
Right, we have 4 courts.
4 total.
2 were never touched. 2 were refurbished and striped for tennis and pickleball. Okay.
In 2020, late 2020.
2020, right.
Yeah. Because that's where people wanted to get outside. Yeah. People wanted to get.
2 of them were, like I said, refurbished for tennis and pickleball. 2 of them are up and running.
Right. So then, I went to Nassau County Community Block Grant for some funding. I said, well, next year we'll put it in our application. Unless you're doing the whole thing, we don't fund any maintenance projects for anybody. It has to be full reconstruction, full reconstruction of right. So that went on, 2021. So I got some pricing. We weren't going to be able to get the grant money, has to pay it. We want to put some pricing on it. Anyway, to see what it will cost. Not to redo the whole thing, but just take the top 2 inches off. So we'll go top and then resurface. So kind of like what we do with our roads. We don't dig them all the way up, we just take a little bit off the top of some of them to the mill and repave. So that's what we got pricing. Milling, repaving all 4 courts and resurfacing the top. So that 2 inches of running investment. It's not a whole, so I think it's gonna last a long time. Should last. But no guarantees with that sport. You get some cracking, especially with the water and the movement of the earth, but they're gonna last 7 years, maybe. Looking good for 75,000. That will be milled, new finish on the top. Will be black top with white stripes for the tennis and for the pickleball. And that comes through in the packet of the 75 450 foot. Now we can get them out of it because the Nassau County College has a state grant, a state bid that was out that our road program contractor won, and we can go off of their bid, off of their package, kind of like a requirement contract, all the same line items, asphalt, moving of concrete, moving of the old asphalt, and striping, are all in their contract. So we just didn't have to use that. So the working happens, we want it to happen. And there was one extra other option, which is a little costly, and you can't do it right away anyway. That would paint all 4 courts, paint them so they're not black, whatever color they be, green, whatever you like, then stripe them again. That's $40,000. Just for them. You can leave it black.
So 2 questions. All the grant money fell out. How do we currently fund this 75,000?
Michael said he has it, he's left.
It would be through, that would be on the capital road.
Now, am I crazy to think
why don't we just redo the two bad ones that we haven't touched in 20 years? And leave the two that we did 2 years ago alone, save us some money.
Well, what we did 2 years ago was we only filled cracks. So we cut over a little bit. Then it's not gonna last. They don't even, they don't look all that great right now. It's more winters, walk over that. This way, they take the 2 inches off, they repair any cracks that are,
They do a lot of crap, a lot of tripping.
they'll repair any cracks that are there. The 2
But we're
inches
milling
that
it
are-
all, yeah.
Yeah, and then they'll repair that solid earth there. And then put the 2 inches in. So, and I don't think I can ask the contractor how much money it's there, because once he mobilizes, it's material. So instead of 310 tons, which is 38,000, 39,000. So you cut that in half. That's all we're really saving.
Right there.
You're saving 20,000.
It's on marsh, on,
It's not that long. Full reconstruction. is
Yeah, but I want
$700,000.
$75,000.
Yeah,
You get
almost $1 million.
$75,000, you get 5 years out of it, and you go, why go to somebody?
Well, the only thing is, if we're aware of it, and we seal it like you seal your driveway every year, we're gonna keep up with it, instead of just letting it sit there for 7 years.
Spend $5,000.
Every 2 years to refurbish it, to keep up with it before it's a disaster.
Is the color entirely just aesthetic, or does it also have to do with,
It seals it. That's why you can't paint it for 3 months.
what about temperature?
No, it's fine. It's asphalt. It's fine. No, it's good. Yeah, 3 months. Before you can paint it, because it's forced.
They paint it or we got it?
We'll do the line, they will do the lines, they will do the white lines on the black asphalt for now. If you chose to go further,
White lines on black asphalt is fine.
it's not that bad. Okay, if you see
It's
central
not
asphalt,
tripping.
it's not tripping, it's playing. You know, pickleball became very popular, 2020, they started, or late 2020, they started the league over there, they were not 100%. They were full capacity, they had 2 sessions, Tuesday and a Thursday session. Those 2 sessions that played, they weren't happy because of the crack. And those are the ones that we fixed. So the following session went down to 75%. And then the session after that went down to 50.
How many people in, who?
I think 30, good. It was 30. Either 30 or 60. I gotta ask you. Jimmy's the one here. 30, 30. 30. Good.
Gentlemen,
I won, I go besides the pickleball aspect of it. It depends, so it goes about crack, it goes about white, but I go through what, I'm not. Boy, I go through cracks.
it all boils down to having the money.
Well, we have our capital road program that we're going to continue. We borrow money as well as fund that with CHIP money. We have over $1.2 million in CHIP money available, including whatever we'll get next March in the next state budget, we're usually about $500,000 to $600,000. So we can just draw down on that more for our roads to offset this, something that the board wants to do. It's not really an issue as far as increasing our bonding limits or anything like that, our bonding plan. That's not necessary.
And we're in the asphalt season, so they would be able to start.
They're doing our road, they're doing one on fourth one right now.
My one just initial concern is that we're gonna spend $75,000 to do it. And then people that go down there, it's not gonna look like they're, professional tennis courts, it's not clean, and we're gonna get the shit anyway.
You know what, that wouldn't happen this year anyway, so you have some lead time on that. Because
So we'll get, I feel that better when it's fifty, I saw that, but it makes it easy to do the season before we. Well, you can play on the,
play
you can
now.
play on the asphalt wall.
You could play
So you look
the
at
next day.
color,
Yeah, color.
you go paint, you color.
You can't, right, it's too close. And then all the paint just goes down to the bottom, where that's it.
So we will never paint green or we paint green?
You can paint it green, like,
Right.
that's extra.
Put the white stripes on.
$40,000 to pay for it.
What's the big deal? It's not, they're not moving.
No, we'll do the grass, right, Joe?
Grass, I said clay, grass. I know it's not,
It gives you some time to think about it and
Nick,
think
do
back.
we need a resolution?
You wouldn't be able to do it until the fall anyway.
I'm not worried about it. Do we need a resolution?
I think you probably should have.
Yes, I'm just saying. So gentlemen, we'll put a resolution on. John, come on. Put it on. Number 8, David Sabatino to discuss the New York post-consumer paint collection program at the transfer station.
Starting in this May 2022, New York State adopted a fee that you will have on the purchase of every can of paint that is more than a half pint. The fee, the fee goes from 45 cents half pint to a gallon, 95 cents gallon up to 2 gallons, $1.95 anything larger than 2 gallons. And what this fee does is it goes to this nonprofit and the state called Paint Care, and they are tasked with recycling, reusing, reclaiming the millions of gallons of paint that are wasted every year in New York. We see it most frequently with people pouring it down the drain, people sneaking it in their garbage cans, contaminating the roads, contaminating our trucks, contaminating our transfer station. So Paint Care, this was brought to me by Bill Hardig. What they would like to do and what this agreement agrees to is establishing our transfer station as a drop-off location year-round for residents and businesses. We can control how much we want people to dump every single time. Most places use up to 5 gallons, but if we wanted to go more, considering our location, we can. We have absolute control and ability to leave the contract as we see fit. What's happening right now is Salerno looked at it and had some questions about the insurance requirements, and Mr. Hopkins is also looking at it currently as well. I hope to have his blessing before the next the regular meeting, and the answer is satisfied to Salerno on the insurance requirements. But what essentially would it be, if you guys remember the institution of e-waste, we store the e-waste on property. Our residents can come and drop those things, e-waste products off, and then when we reach the capacity of our storage, I call the e-waste company, they come and pick it up, and they leave us new empty pallets and boxes. This is a little bit more secure. It's secured containers that we would fill up. They hold, I think, up to 200 gallons in a container. It would be inside of our transfer station building. We would have we have the space, as tight as it gets in there. I can make the space for it. We would have to screen the stuff coming in, make sure it's on their approved products. There are a number of products that are not approved: thinners, aerosols, auto and marine paints, etc. But I think it's a great environmentally friendly program to offer our residents. They don't have to wait for the STOP program to come every September or October. And the other thing is too, we spend so much time and money responding to paint spills in our trucks on the road. We would, I think, significantly reduce that if people had an option and we educated them, and Paint Cares would help educate our populace, that they could bring the paint to our facility. If there's any questions, I would like it to be on, but I be on the agenda if you guys approve. But I have to make sure all the answers are satisfied to the insurance company and Mr. Hopkins. Yeah.
We have a satellite location.
We could. The thing is, you want it to be a manned, administered location. So they probably wouldn't do it unless they knew somebody was there and looking at what's coming in.
My issue is just trying to encourage people to drop it off. And think about it for like Gibson. Are they going to drive all the way up to the yard?
I mean, they already have to drive to the yard to dispose of any excess waste, construction materials, things like that. Yeah. People throughout Valley Stream come to our yard. I mean, we do have pretty strict time frame in which people can attend. 7 to 2 for dumping, Monday through Friday only. So I understand your point. Is is someone really going to come during the weekday to dispose of paint? I would say yes, if they want to get it out of their house. No, I don't think that's an issue. I think it may be difficult to have a satellite location.
Should I make one suggestion? Rather than a satellite location, we have anywhere between 3 and 5 sanitation holidays a year where our department is in anyway. So on a Saturday or a holiday.
Right.
So we could make those days, if we've already got people there, we can make those days special drop-off days where somebody who normally wouldn't be able to come to 7 people a week could come on a Saturday or on a,
Election
or a
day.
holiday or
Yeah.
election day, whatever. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we have to pick up at least 4 probably days throughout the year that would be off hours, off, regular business week that would be only for the residents that can't make it to start off.
It would also help in our reporting. Every year we have to report the MS4, the stormwater management. And this would help significantly bolster that report because now we have an education program about not pouring these things down the drain. We also have the ability for people to dispose of these things year round, not just waiting for the 1 or 2 events that they can make for Stockholm.
And usually they're nowhere near. Like the closest one, they have one in Bay Park and they might have one in Franklin Square.
Yeah, and then you have to wait till September for Valley Stream. Otherwise, you're going to East Meadow.
But, do you have one at the State Park still?
Yeah, they still do it in September. State Park. The only way we would make money off this program is if we set up like sort of like a reuse store, which I don't see us doing. But maybe that's an opportunity in the future. It's $1.60 for every reclaimed gallon that we save. We would get paid. So yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. I can sort that stuff out and we can reuse it that way.
So just wait for, the attorney.
If we get, right.
If they'll approve, put it on, if they don't have approval, we'll address it in the vote.
Okay.
Jay, didn't we have, a couple of local laws hanging out there waiting, you said the building department ones got pulled, and
Yeah, we're waiting on
the
that.
zoning ones that David was working on?
Yeah. No, we don't have those on now.
I spoke to Mr. Hopkins
Yeah.
last week, but David,
But they're still in the queue.
Still in the queue.
once he gets back,
So we're still looking at the local laws for zoning and building that, and in the building department, one, I thought it was a little more of a ground wall.
Well, that was being worked on by,
Jennifer?
Simone.
Simone.
She's been sick also.
I saw it was pulled and I didn't.
we're on it, because we need some of those changes all for the downtown signs. The downtown signs, I think, we'll have a bid probably.
Yeah, so I know we were waiting for those local laws and I thought we were gonna push for September.
We were trying.
Okay, all right, just curious where that left off.
I think we're gonna talk to Michael at the end of this, next week, the next week, yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Motion to close and go into executive session for litigation.
I just have one thing, I know the mayor's seen this, so. When Nick was kind of going. I've now done like 10,000 complaints about, competition collision and Gibson, so now I just try to limit on that. So I asked Nick Pisano, what's the deal? They've apparently written something on the order of 50 or 60 citations in the last year or two, not in 2020, that have never been apparently addressed. Nick said something about they had trouble getting a court date or something.
They were adjourned last time. They're going in on Thursday.
What do you mean going in?
Before a judge on Thursday.
So your result on that. No, pass that
Well,
over.
before a judge, Nick tried to get it done last time, but the prosecutor adjourned it.
Okay, so as the prosecutors work for, I'd like to direct a letter to them for no further return.
Have the clerk send a letter to the judge, not the prosecutors.
No, they can't do that. The chain of command is the prosecutors work for us, don't work for the judge. So
I just trying to follow that.
it's just like the police work for the county executive, they don't work for the, and like, it's just out of control down there. And, those get that done.
Who does the clerk address the letter to?
Well, they can address it to the prosecutors that don't
please do not consent to any more adjournments. But the question is, are they ready? If they're not ready, then you don't want to push them to not adjourn the thing, because then you're gonna lose the cases. They're gonna have to dismiss. So, I mean,
Okay, so you say something like, please expedite these cases?
yeah,
Or
I'd like
like
to
that.
see, they get a resolution as quickly as possible.
There you go. You got some of those expedite, get a resolution as quickly as possible. The board is anxious to have this situation resolved.
If not, it
You
just,
know, please get back to us.
yeah, and it just strikes me that, given the nature of some of these complaints, there is a health and safety issue, so it needs to be escalated to the county health department via a press conference. We could do it that way too. Doesn't matter to me, but like, the idea that there was an issue outstanding for more than 2 years is a bit, ridiculous.
Very good. Agreed. Now, a motion to close the board executive session personnel litigation.
So move.
Rosso Caparelli.
Aye.
All right.